What's up, guys? One and only, well, not one and only, but the first ever true Grand Slam champion, Swissblade Jay White, King Swisserman, has single-handedly sold out Madison Square Garden, telling you make sure you support WrestleTalk.
In this WrestleTalk news, WWE stars upset with Raw's firing promos, and AEW star leaves, a crazy AEW conspiracy theory, and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
The latest battle in the AEW vs WWE war took place on Vince McMahon's home turf, with Monday's Raw running the new UBS Arena in Long Island, New York, which sold a disappointing 5,887 tickets, with sections of the venue having many empty seats. This is despite WWE adding Roman Reigns to the dark match, announcing Edge's return in advance, and in some cases even doing buy 3 for the price of 1 offers. AEW's Dynamite show next Wednesday in the same arena, however, has sold 8,658 tickets with a week to go. Almost 3,000 tickets more. What could be the reason for this? WWE running New York too soon after holding Survivor Series there, effectively burning out the market? No! The egg is infallible! Is WWE a stale product that's lost connection with its audience? Of course not! May I present to you yet again Exhibit Egg? Is it because wrestling, ultimately, is a business that operates on star power, not brand power? And when you push the brand over everything else, it's harder for fans to find emotional resonance.
The egg grows tired of your nonsense excuses.
The correct answer is, of course, AEW is buying their own seats. Brian Alvarez has posted on the Wrestling Observer forum board, "You'll be surely stunned to learn that there are a few people in WWE who believe Tony Khan must be buying up tickets for the AEW show. Wake up, sheeple. Tony Khan is buying unsold seats at shows, and 18 to 49-year-olds to watch Dynamite on TV, and YouTubers to say nice things about him. But there's one person Tony has decided not to buy up, as one of AEW's longest-running wrestlers has left the promotion." Big Swole announced on Twitter, "Over the past couple of months, my life has taken on the mantra, grow, learn, change. Dealing with shadow work took strength I didn't know I had. I thank God for my loving family, because they got me through some of the roughest months of my life. But I realized the real test is application. So I took my leap, and after speaking with Tony Khan and AEW higher officials, we've decided not to renew my contract with All Elite Wrestling. This was a hard decision, but a needed one. I'm grateful for their understanding and that we could mutually come to this agreement. I've enjoyed my time with AEW and wish them all the best. I appreciate their love and welcoming me into their family. Today is my last day, and as bittersweet as it is, I am proud to say that I've lived my dreams while making a difference. That is Swole mentality." Swole made her AEW debut on the company's second ever pay-per-view All Out 2019 in the 21 Women Battle Royal, and she signed with the company later that year in December. Her highest profile feud was the lockdown rivalry with Britt Baker through last summer, which culminated in the cinematic tooth and nail match taped at Baker's Real Dental practice for All Out 2020, where Swole won. She seemed set to be one of AEW's top female stars, but a flare-up of her Crohn's disease meant that some days she could barely walk, let alone wrestle. She hasn't featured on Dynamite or Rampage at all this year, only wrestling on Dark and Dark Elevation. Unfortunately, with AEW bringing in other female talent in that time, Swole found herself fall down the pecking order at a time when the promotion's roster has arguably become bloated. As it appears she was initially signed for a 2-year deal, this contract has simply expired. Her husband, Raw star Cedric Alexander, retweeted Swole's post with the message, "I love you." Before anyone jumps on this and goes, "See? AEW fired people too, how dare they? And they're buying up all the Dynamite tickets." There is a difference. AEW saw someone's contract through to the end. WWE break those promises by cutting people whenever they like, and then use those firings as storyline fodder. Monday's episode of Raw saw not just one, but two promo references to WWE's mass firings over the last year, with Liv Morgan first saying to Becky Lynch, "Your big, fat, greedy contract is the reason why my friends are gone," a reference to Liv's former Riot Squad buddies Sarah Logan and Ruby Riott. It's always important to note here that WWE is the most profitable it's ever been, and Edge told The Miz later on, "You use wrestling to get notoriety for your next endeavor, for your next reality show, for your next dance competition, while you leave your partners high and dry to get fired," referencing John Morrison, who was released last month, and had broken up with The Miz anyway, so I don't know if Edge watches the product. Both of these promos were negatively received by fans, who felt uncomfortable that WWE was using their own ruthless firings as storyline material, and then kayfabe putting the blame on the characters of Becky and The Miz. And it turns out, it wasn't just us that didn't like it. The wrestlers hated it too. Sean Ross Sapp said in his post-Raw review show, "I had former WWE wrestlers, former WWE producers, and a current WWE wrestler that were all telling me how bad a taste they thought that was." And thanks to PW Insider, we know that Liv's line blaming Becky's big money contract was not one she came up with herself, as some have theorized it was a genuine shoot moment. It was, in fact, given to her by Vince McMahon and the creative team. Do you think using the releases as a storyline was too far? Let me know in the comments down below, because I'll be replying to people for the first 30 minutes after this video goes live. Edge, meanwhile, apparently came up with his stuff all by himself. According to PW Insider, Edge has creative freedom in his promos, so his heavy referencing of the AEW segment between CM Punk and The Miz, MJF, from the previous week was likely his own material, which might be why they didn't time out the show properly, as both the Edge-Miz segment and the Becky-Liv contract signing overran, meaning bits later on in the show had their time cut. But despite that, officials backstage were reportedly thrilled with the 10-woman tag on the episode, with PW Insider singling out Dana Brooke, who turned 33 on the day, for a big bump off the top rope outside, and Doudrop as receiving particular praise. The match was given a lot of time, running through 2 commercial breaks, and the backstage feeling was that everyone rose to the occasion to help get over the Liv and Becky feud ahead of their title match next week. After the heavily reported behind-the-scenes toxicity from Charlotte Flair, it's nice to see the women's division working so well together. I can't wait for that to be dropped on its head by Nia Jax's upcoming shoot interview. Jax, who is now going by her real name, Lena Fanine, has promised on Twitter, "Lol, don't worry, I'll be chatting, spilling gossip, with Renee Paquette eventually." Cheeky emojis. "Gal, it's gonna be strictly gossip and hot tea I have on everyone." Demon face emoji, fire emoji, mwahahaha. There are many backstage rumors about Jax, like her reported argument with Roman Reigns last year about who gets to do a table spot, accusations of her unsafe work, and, of course, her shoot-slap fight with Charlotte back in August. But what's Lena Fanine doing in the AEW zone? Hopefully helping their ratings. Friday's Rampage pulled in just 431,000 viewers, making it the show's lowest rating ever and down over a fifth from the previous week. A low rating was to be expected, with it being the Thanksgiving holidays, but Dynamite that same week only suffered a 9% drop, and SmackDown on the same Friday night actually saw an increase of 4% following Survivor Series. As great as a show Rampage is, the downward trend seems inescapable, with the dual problems of AEW product saturation and a terrible time slot. Before we get into the NXT review, there's been an update on the brand's daddy, Triple H, who suffered a cardiac event back in September where he underwent a successful procedure, and he is expected to make a full recovery. Hunter himself tweeted out later that month his thanks for all the well wishes, and he was also spotted touring WWE's new headquarters in November. But according to Dave Meltzer on Sunday night's Main Event podcast, the event was, in fact, very, very, very serious, and he doesn't expect Triple H to ever wrestle again. He hasn't yet returned to his behind-the-scenes role, which is probably for the best, as they've changed your baby, Hunter. Here's Tempest with a review of last night's NXT in about 5 minutes.
I'd like to know what percentage of NXT comedy segments actually turn out to be funny. What's going on, WrestleTalk friends and fans? Tempest is back with another review of NXT 2.0. in about 5 minutes. So of course this was the go-home show for NXT War Games, not TakeOver mind you, that term has been retired, and we opened up this show with a ladder match to determine who would get the advantage in the Women's War Games match as Dakota Kai took on Kaylee Ray. Of the 2 ladder matches on this show, this one definitely had a lot more insane spots and a lot more creativity, whereas the other one involved a lot more of showing off how powerful Braun Breaker is. These 2 women of course are absolute pros, and it showed in this match. There were a lot of spots that absolutely could have gone wrong in a million different ways, but everything came off pretty crisp and a really good match in the end. Although it seems we didn't learn our lesson from last year's Women's War Games match, giving the babyfaces the advantage as Kaylee Ray managed to get the win in this match. TNA made the same mistakes for a decade, and if you're making the same mistakes TNA made, you're doing something wrong. Booking aside, this was a really good way to open up this show. An excellent ladder match. It gets a 5 out of 5. Next up, we had Andre Chase taking on Cameron Grimes. This wasn't quite a squash match, but Cameron Grimes did pick up the win in a very short match as he hit the cave-in on Andre Chase, and then afterwards, Duke Hudson, well, he cut a promo, didn't he? He showed off a bunch of photoshopped images of Cameron Grimes with different haircuts. Man, I really want to know who's responsible for writing the NXT comedy segments. I am looking forward to their match on Sunday, but that's just because I think they'll do a good wrestle, and not because of anything they did in this segment. I did not think it was terribly enjoyable. It gets a 2 out of 5. Next, we got an in-ring promo from the 4 members of Team NXT 2.0, and they all did a pretty good job, all things considered. Each of the 4 men cut promos on their respective rivals from the Black and Gold team, and people kind of gave me a bit of a hard time for saying Braun Breaker might have turned heel last week, but he was fully aligned with the heel team here. Johnny Gargano came out and challenged Braun Breaker to leave his team in the back for their ladder match in the main event, and also he called him the big bad booty nephew.
That is amazingly funny.
I thought this was about as effective a promo segment as I've seen on NXT 2.0. I'm giving this one a 5 out of 5 as well. Next, we had Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly take on Legado del Fantasma to see who will go on to NXT War Games to face Imperium for the NXT Tag Team Championship. Zion Quinn came out to ringside during this match. It didn't really lead to much, but he's going to face Santos Escobar next week, and Von Wagner and Kyle O'Reilly ended up getting the win in a fairly decent match, although I've never quite been blown away by this team. I just don't find that Kyle O'Reilly and Von Wagner have that much chemistry as a team. It just very much feels like they're 2 different guys working together because the script's telling them to. The match did have a really good finish, however, as Legado del Fantasma tried to distract the referee, but before they could do a double team move, Von Wagner sent one of them to the outside, and he and Kyle O'Reilly hit a big high-low for the win. It seems to be a bit of a trend with Von Wagner's matches, but this was fine. It wasn't great, and it wasn't bad. It was just right in the middle. It was fine. I'm giving this a 3 out of 5. Next, we had the Joe Gacy Inclusive Invitational, and boy, was this Gacy cut a promo because of course he did, and he talked about how he's going to be inclusive as Cruiserweight Champion, and he lined up a short person, a heavy person, and a woman in order to take them all on and prove that he is inclusive. Joe Gacy took on the short man first, and this was supposed to be like a gauntlet match of some sort, but then before he could get in the ring with Tesha Price, Diamond Mine came out, Roderick Strong said that he was done talking and attacked Joe Gacy, but then Joe Gacy hit him with his clothesline, and I didn't like any of this. Who is the babyface in this feud? Who am I supposed to be cheering for right now? Because I don't find any of the people involved to be terribly likable. In Joe Gacy's case, I don't find him likable at all. The crowd also did not seem to be terribly into this one. It went on way too long. I'm giving this a 1 out of 5. We then had the in-ring debut of Idris Inoue as he took on Solo Sikoa. Inoue had gotten a promo package earlier in the night hyping up his debut, and I like that. They did a little bit more extra effort than we usually get in these kind of matches, and this wasn't a squash. It was a lot more back and forth than usual, with Solo Sikoa eventually getting the win with a frog splash. Also during this match, Robert Stone came down to ringside and was taking notes on his iPhone with a stylus, so you know he's a real prick. Then after the match, Boa came out covered in face paint. He had been trying to get help from Solo Sikoa earlier in the show because he's like possessed by the demon of Mei Ying or something. I don't know. However, Sikoa and Inoue ran him off together. Maybe they'll be a team, maybe they're just cool with each other. I like the presentation of this, although I could have done without the extra little run-in bits. This match gets a 3 out of 5. Next, we had a tag team match as Persia Pirotta and Indy Hartwell took on Yulisa Leone and Valentina Feroz. This match was basically a retread of last week where Indy Hartwell is just brutally overacting her worry about Dexter Lumis. He went missing from the hospital. Why is he in the hospital after a broken hand for 2 weeks? I don't know. The show is so weird sometimes. Eventually, Persia Pirotta was able to tag in and basically just won the match on her own. Why is she in a tag team? She could very clearly just be NXT Women's Champion by how dominant she is. The match was short, and I'm really not into Indy Hartwell's overacting. This match match gets a 1 out of 5. And finally, we got the main event as Johnny Gargano took on Braun Breaker to determine who would get the man advantage in the NXT Men's War Games match. Now, as I said before, this match didn't have the crazy insane spots that the earlier match had, but there was still a lot of really good wrestling. Johnny Gargano was involved, so shocker. Braun Breaker was really able to show off his power in this match and hit a big Frankensteiner, we're getting closer y'all, and eventually got the win after hitting his big press power slam after pulling Johnny Gargano off the top of the ladder. Breaker was really able to hang in this match and showed that he's much more than just a prospect at this point. This match was really good, but I do think that the earlier ladder match will stand out more in my mind as I look back on this show weeks later. This match was still really good though, this gets a 4 out of 5. So overall, this was definitely one of the better episodes of NXT 2.0 so far. It was highlighted by the 2 ladder matches as well as the in-ring promo, but there's still a lot of stuff on this show that just drags it down. However, with so many long, really good segments, it's hard to give this show anything less than a 4 out of 5. And that just about wraps it up for me. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on this week's show, make sure you go over to WrestleTalk podcast later on today, where myself and Chopper Pete will be breaking down the entire show in complete detail. And make sure you follow me on Twitter. I posted an update there yesterday saying that I'll no longer be going by Tempest the Wrestler on this channel. I'll be going by just Tempest. And my YouTube channel, please subscribe, will be known as Tempest Likes Wrestling. If you want the full explanation, you can find it there. Until then, take care and stay beautiful.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fakest of them all? Well, it sure as hell ain't me. I'm the most trustworthy guy around here. And it definitely ain't Shane McMahon, who's made an entire career of slinging genuine, bona fide potatoes around the place. But what about Orange Cassidy's apathetic shin kicks? You're exposing the business. What about Kenny Omega versus a 9-year-old girl?